Hello, ACS fam. Welcome to another important session of current affair topic that we have brought for you. I think you all must have heard about some kind of misinformations that are being spread through some social media or some video content, right? Or you must have heard regarding some kind of cyber crimes that are often taking place in our country. For these, for stopping all these crimes, we have certain rules which we refer to as information technology rule. And in this particular session, we will discuss regarding the information technology rule or IT rule, which got amended in 2021. We'll have a brief overview of the IT rule 2021. Along with it, I think you all know that vaccines are an important topic, isn't it? We will talk about the mRNA vaccine technology in this context as well. So for this, stay tuned, everyone. IT rules 2021. Important. Why it has come? This IT rules. The main rule is IT rule 2000. Yes, this is the main father rule, and there has been an amendment in this rule, so that rule is IT 2021. Why it is in news? Because the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, it has ordered the banning of 22 YouTube channels. Out of this 22, four were actually some Pakistani channels, and rest were of course Indian channels, but they were spreading some kind of misconceptions among the people. They were spreading some kind of misconceptions among the people, and this is why under this IT rule 2021, it could ban, the ministry could ban this YouTube channels. Now, why banning of all this? Banning, if someone is performing some unlawful act, or if it is found that yes, whatever these people are saying, whatever they are saying in early time, think, let me give you a comparison. One is IT rule 2000, one is IT rule 2021. If you think it logically, if you think it broadly, what was the environmental condition then? During that time, there were the newspapers, there were TV channels. Yes, one basic TV channel in 2000, which would actually give us only the right information. Doordarshan. Now, if you come back to 2021, just like me, there are lots of people who have forgotten what are the things that are present in TV, and now people are moving towards the social media, to different platforms like OTT. Do you remember what is OTT? Over the top, like Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Hotstar. All these are what? All these are OTTs, right? Yes, social media, OTT, then YouTube channels. All these are there today in this era. Yes, think about 2000. If any kind of misinformations are being passed, any kind of misinformation, if they are passed, then they will be written either in the newspaper, or some of them could be digitalized in the TV channels, right? If it is found to be untrue, then under the IT Act 2000, they could get punished. Yes, those people who are spreading misinformations. So there in IT rule 2000, some kind of rules have been mentioned regarding the prohibition of all these newspapers, TV channels, or whatever. In that rule, nothing related to social media, nothing related to the YouTube channel, nothing related to the OTTs have been mentioned. This is why there is a requirement of the entire IT Act, and this is the importance of the IT Act 2021, in which amendments have been occurred, and it mainly focuses regarding the behavior of the social media platform. Basic is always the IT rule 2000. Okay, that's the basic, that's the father. Yes, of course, before 2000, some other rules were also there, but we considered 2000 as the entire, as a good rule. After that, the requirement of amendment came because of the popularity of all these different kinds of platforms. Yes, now since these 22 YouTube channels are spreading some misinformations among the people, therefore, here you cannot use the IT rule 2000. Here you will have to use IT rule 2021, by which you can ban this channel. Even it's not only them, even if you are creating some kind of content which is harming the environment, if anyone launches a complaint against you, your channel could get banned under the IT rule 2021. So remember the importance. Yes. So let us have a good look over it. You can see if any kind of sexual offenses on social media are being seen, are being created, sexual offenses related to women and children. We all know women and children are mostly vulnerable for sexual offenses, basically some kind of videos and some kind of sexual 18 plus content on the social media, right? For that, women and children are very much vulnerable. So any kind of things, if they are found, then there will be those women, those children will be protected, and whoever are creating the content, they will definitely be punished, right? So these are some of the things regarding, they are putting up stress on the point regarding the online content and those who are publishing some kind of content on the social media. So it's very much important that any of us, if any of us are creating any kind of content, that we should be very much, what we should be very much careful. And yes, we are also included in it because we are frequently holding these sessions, and some of the things are even uploaded in the YouTube. So we need to be very much careful. We need to be careful with our content so that our content does not harm the environment. Otherwise, what will happen? We could have to face penalties, or we could have to face some kind of difficulties under the Rule 2021. Next, mRNA vaccine. Yes, vaccines, every time they will be in news. This vaccine, that vaccine, so many things related to vaccine. So therefore, COVID-19 vaccine very much an importance. And out of this mRNA vaccine has came into news because Biological E, the company Biological E, this has received the mRNA vaccine technology by WHO, by World Health Organization. They are giving us, not us, the Biological E, it's a company, and it's giving the vaccine technology, mRNA vaccine technology, to the Biological E. And now if I ask you, if you say what are the vaccines that are available in India, one is Covaxin, right? Then we have Covishield, yes. Then the Corbevax. These three are being used widely in our country. Sputnik is also there. Out of them, if you see, this Covaxin is not an mRNA vaccine, Covishield is not an mRNA vaccine, Corbevax is also not an mRNA vaccine. I am only mentioning the vaccines that are widely, that are being used for doses, okay, that are given for doses, okay. The rest of the vaccines like Jacob D and all, they have been manufactured by our country, but still we are not, they have not gained much popularity among the people, right? Anyway, coming back, neither of them are mRNA vaccines, but in the outer India, I hope you have heard about the Pfizer vaccine. Yes, have you heard about this Pfizer vaccine? This Pfizer vaccine has been widely used. So this Pfizer vaccine is an mRNA vaccine. Yes. So if the other countries are using, why not India? Yes. So mRNA vaccines, this technology have been given to biologically by WHO. Now, what is mRNA vaccine? What is the procedure, the mechanism of mRNA vaccine, we all know here, since the name itself says mRNA, we will take the mRNA. But whose mRNA we will take? We will take the mRNA of the virus, SARS-CoV-2, isn't it? We will take the mRNA of the virus. And most importantly, the mRNA that encodes for the spike protein. Do you remember that? Do you remember that this DNA can be converted into mRNA? mRNA can be further translated into proteins, right? The central dogma, we call this as the central dogma, right? Okay. So that means if there is the spike protein, we all know the importance of spike protein. Spike protein are the proteins, S protein, they are which are responsible for creating disease in us, because we have in our body some receptors for those proteins. So as we have receptors, receptor means we are receiving them, we are welcoming our body, the receptors of our body, they are saying this, please welcome spike protein, you are welcome to bind yourself into us, right? That means, so if you see, spike proteins are the most responsible, the most important, you can see the most important villain of the entire film, of the entire movie. Those proteins which encodes for spike proteins, those mRNA which encodes for spike proteins are the best candidates for the mRNA vaccines. Such mRNA are being taken, then that mRNA, after different processing, all these are done in laboratory, they are then injected into the body, right? They are injected into the body. As they are injected into the body, what will happen? It will release the spike proteins into the body. As spike proteins are released into the body, our body will recognize that yes, these are foreign things. These are foreign things that are trying to invade our cell. And as a response to these foreign things, I hope you remember the next of the story. What will happen? The armies of proteins of our body will come together, and we call them as antibodies. If something has been detected as foreign, army, our Indian army that are present in our body will get activated, right? Yes. So this is how mRNA vaccine will provide protection against the virus, because as the army of proteins are getting activated, if in real the virus comes, that activated army will directly attack. They will not take time and they will instantly make an attack. Now, let us move to the advantages, because every one of them are having their own advantages as well as disadvantages. If you come to the advantage, the main advantage of mRNA vaccine is that they will enhance, they will activate the cellular immunity. Now, what is cellular immunity? Cells. Do you remember I told you about the T cells, right? The T cells will get activated. Yes, and you remember the T cells are very much important for aiding the B cells, and these B cells will then produce the antibodies, right? So activation of T cells, these helper T cells are very, very important. Along with the helper T cell, we also have some cytotoxic cells. Cytotoxic T cells, or those are the killer T cells, right? So T cells activation can be very much important, and if you are administering the mRNA vaccine, they will prove to be good. But the problem, yes, the problem with mRNA vaccine is that if you compare, one is mRNA and one is DNA. If you compare these two, DNA is very much stable. compared to mRNA. RNA, okay, RNA, they get degraded very easily. They are very much, this RNA, mRNA, they are very, very much prone to degradation. So in a nutshell, what you can say? You can say that mRNA vaccines are also very much fragile. They can get degraded if they are somehow, if they're exposed to environment, if even a little contamination is present, it can degrade the entire vaccine. If the entire vaccine is getting degraded, then what can happen? There will be wastage of money. Whatever cost we have utilized for preparation of this vaccine, everything will be at waste, right? So these are the advantage and these advantage of mRNA vaccine.